Anyways, I think we've more than proven one critical fact. Namely, that it was entirely possible that Acro was the murderer. Moron. You're a moron.
Mr. Wright's argument was so circular I'm still a bit dizzy. However, his argument does hold water. There is no denying that.
Ow! Don't seem so flamboozled, especially by this fraud of an attorney. Fraud? You've forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Phoenix Wright. And what is that? You should know. You forgot that your fraud of a magical client was spotted at the scene of the crime. Ah! There is no reason to doubt the clown's testimony.
That's true. How do you respond to that, Mr. Wright?
Nick, don't let her beat you now.
I won't. This is my chance to turn this trial around. When the murder occurred, there were two people at the scene of the crime. One was the victim, Russell Berry, and the other was the murderer himself. Answer this and only this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The clown saw the murderer. Who was it then?
Oy. It can't be Acro.
Clown saw the murderer. I don't want to present Max, because we're trying to defend against him, but it all makes sense. Because who else would have access to that robe and the other stuff? I'll feel like an idiot if this is right, because I'm kind of positive that's not right, but let's try it out.
What is this supposed to mean?
Yes, what is that supposed to mean? Do you mind explaining that to me as well?
You're getting barraged with questions, Nick.
Why is that?
It's because you're in the...
What? God! I'm an idiot! Oh my god! Russell.
What is...
Oh no!
Son of a... Oh my god.
Oh man. Oh, we're almost at health. Ugh. What? Oh my gosh, I keep having to do this. I don't know why, guys. Just a second. I'll be right back. I gotta go help my dad with something. Just a second. Okay. Okay, it's fair, guys. Ugh. Yikes. What do I do? Oh, I will pause this video if we run out of health. What? You saw Max's ow. I asked who was the other person who most saw in the scene. That evidence has nothing to do with the question. I'll confirm on for... What? I was just gonna start presenting everything that I had in my evidence. Wow! Wow! How likely is that to happen? It does indeed have something to do with the question. Most said that he saw Max's silhouette, but he did not actually see the man himself! It wasn't a human being he saw! Oh man! This is getting nuts!
How is that possible?
It's simple, really. What Mo actually saw that night was Max's bus? How? What are you talking about? Have you tried using your brain at all in this case? The silhouette he saw just happened to be wearing a cloak. There's no reason why you couldn't attach a cloak to the bust. Or a cloak like that could easily get snagged on the bust if they came into contact. Idiot, who in their right mind would put a cloak on a bust? It doesn't matter who put it on the bust.
Just wait a minute now, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bus? That question is of the utmost importance to this case, don't you agree?
Oh, he caught me.
So let's have it, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bus? Oh! Ah.
Russell? Fool, him?
You are saying it was the victim himself, Russell Berry?
That's what I'm saying. Oh my god. It could have been nobody else but him. Because he was the only one that was out of there at the time of the crime. He, I mean the victim himself, placed the cloak on the bust? Place the cloak isn't really the right way of putting it.
What would be the right way of putting it, Mr. Wright?
Explain yourself.
Nick, do you really have a handle on all this?
I'm fine, Maya. I'm finally putting all the pieces together. There's really only one picture I can paint anyways. Alright, so you want to know what really happened that night? Let's step back in time. Jesus. Acro used a rope to lower the wooden box into the scene. Then he attached that rope to the bust and dangled the bust out of his bedroom window directly above the wooden box. Oh, okay. That makes sense. At the same time, the ringmaster told Max to wait in his room and went to the scene. Of course, at the time, the ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. Perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognize him that night. But just as he feared, it was spotted at the entrance of the lodging house by none other than a ventriloquist and his puppet, Ben and Trilo. When the ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box. And that's when Acro took his chance and released the rope. This is such a stupid case. Oh my god, this is so stupid. Now this is when the magic happens. At the very instant that the bust hit the victim, oh, that's weird. You wait just a second there, Mr. Phoenix Wright. As much as you try, as much as you scheme, this just isn't true. It can't be. It's still a little early to be getting so upset, Miss Von Karma. This circus isn't over yet. Eh? I don't get this at all. With the shock of impact, it threw up the cloak and it got snagged onto the bust. That's when the sound was heard by a witness and he took a look out his window. That witness was, of course, Lawrence Mo Curls, the clown. When Mo looked out his window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Acro naturally went about pulling up the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea that Mo saw the bust being raised with the cloak dangling on it. Primarily because in his wheelchair he couldn't see out of his window, so he just kept pulling the bust up. Oh man, this is dumb. And that is how the magical murderer disappearing into the sky came to be. Now you know how the murder actually took place. And now you know who was able to drop the murder weapon from above the scene. Acro, it could only have been you.
What? Acro's been playing mind games with all of us.
He sure has, but he has come to the end of his rope now. So, what now? You've graced us with a rather long, winding tale, but do you have any evidence to prove that your fairy tale is true?
Evidence?
In this court, only two things matter, the power of evidence and the power of my whip.
Don't forget the power of my gavel as well. Mr. Wright, the prosecution brings up a good point. Can we see some evidence?
Nick, they say they want evidence.
I just explained how there could only be one possible murder method, but there is still something unusual about Mo's eyewitness account.
Unusual?
A contradiction, actually.
Okay, then use that and get out of this jam.
That's enough talking amongst yourselves. Proceed, Mr. Wright.
Present some evidence to the court that backs your claim. Can I save my game? Okay, good. Haha.
I want hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to this magic case.
Oh, yeah. Let's think about this here. Hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to the magic. No! No! Did I just end it right there? No, 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 no. I pressed minus and then I was moving my Wii remote back to... Oh, please tell me that's it. The problem is Max has 3 symbols. You know, the silk hat, the cloak, and the white roses.
Those symbols were a problem numerous times during yesterday's proceedings.
I'm getting so lucky with this case! Yesterday there were 2 contradictions in Moe's testimony. The silk hat was one, the white roses were the other. But the theory I just presented explains all of these contradictions. You fool, do you ever shut up? Max's silk hat was found at the scene of the crime. However, remember what Moe said yesterday? He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. There's only one explanation for that. The silk hat that Moe saw was actually the bust. That makes sense. I probably would have thought of that if I didn't, you know, screw everything up right there. Oh my god.
Makes sense if you look at that. If you look at it that way, then he did see the silk hat. Well, sort of.
Fine, you've got one, but what about the other contradiction?
The other contradiction?
Remember what that ventriloquist said in court? He said that he witnessed white roses on Max's chest that night, but the clown's testimony doesn't match. The clown said that there were no white roses. I'd like to see you explain that in another way, I think she said.
Can you do it, Nick?
Of course, I can explain all of it. What was that? Please recall the instant when the cloak snagged onto the bust. If the cloak snagged onto the bust, what happened to the white roses? White roses fell on top of, were under the victim? Do you get it yet? If the cloak got snagged on front of into the front of the bust, it means that the white roses would end up on the back of the bust. Oh. Which explains why Moe didn't see it. The white roses were not visible because they were on the back side of the bust. What? I don't get that.
Order, order! This is quite the shocking state of affairs. Mr. Wright's theory still sounds a bit absurd to me. However, let's just keep going down this road for a while and see where it leads.
Let's do this, Nick. Then maybe Yvonne Carmel will finally throw in the towel.
They're both smiling. Oh.
Well, so much for that theory.
Mr. Wright, do you mind? What is it? You took the time to research our circus, didn't you? Well, yes, I did. Is there something making you think that I didn't? If you did, then maybe you'll understand why I think you're off track. Why is that? Motive. Motive. This witness feels an incredible debt of gratitude towards the ringmaster. Anyone with any relation to the circus is well aware of this. Maybe because he was getting revenge back from him from... Because Leon is technically his Russell's lion. And maybe he wanted to get back at revenge for the lion killing... what's his name? Bat. Maybe that's what that's what I think. Thus, there's absolutely no way someone like this would kill the ringmaster. Contraire. Your Honor, I'd like you to hear Acro's story. Learn about his relationship with the ringmaster and his life up until now.
What do we do? There's no doubting that Acro deeply respected the ringmaster.
Acro's motive.
It seems that this case isn't over yet. Very well. However, I feel this is a good place to take a break. I will listen to the rest of Mr. Dingling's testimony after recess. This court will now take a 10-minute recess.
Oh my goodness, thank goodness. Alright, save my game, please. Please, please, please. Yeah! Saving. Alright, game is saved. Jesus, alright. Taking a break. Jeez. Go back to the title screen. Alright. I'm going to take a break for a couple minutes and then we'll come back and we'll probably finish up this case. Stay tuned for more Phoenix Wright, Justice for All.